then we investigate. At times we get the intelligence through over the internet, and we are able to trace and locate the victim and also the offenders for purposes of rescuing the victim and also charging the offenders. So that is basically what we do at the unit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, for that introduction. Our last panelist is Barak. Barak, are you here now?
Yes,
Barak Otieno. Hi, Barak.
Hi.
Hi. Please introduce yourself and what you do to set the face for this conversation.
Thank you very much, Jen. My name is Barak Otieno. I'm a trustee at the Kenya ICT Action Network. It's a network of people and institutions that are interested and involved in ICT policy formulation and development in Kenya. We are involved in a lot of capacity building, advocacy, and research work insofar as tech policy development is concerned. I'll say more as we move along. Thank you.
Thank you, Barak. Thank you so much. So that in a nutshell is what our panelists, their background is, so that that could advise why they are in this conversation and the world of knowledge that they're bringing to today's conversation about protecting children in the age of online learning. For those joining us, our conversation today is amplified, not just because of, when you talk about child online protection, a conversation that the Communications Authority of Kenya has been very passionate about. And amidst COVID, this conversation has been amplified because as the children were home, a lot of institutions then adopted online learning. And so a lot of children then were thrust into the digital world, where now they were interacting with new platforms to engage with their teachers, to engage with their facilitators, and even to engage with their friends, for all these activities. So that sort of like amplified the need for us to have a discussion about child online protection. Now, the National KSAT, which sits at the CA, as well as the CA, we have been running a survey since last evening about whether we asked parents, do you feel that your children are safe while engaging on online learning? Now, so far, just a second. So far, let me have a real an up-to-date statistics on this. So far, only 19% feel that their children are safe while engaging in online classes. Only 19%. Now, 55% say no, a very strong no. They do not feel that their children are safe while engaging in online classes, while 26% are not sure. Maybe the poll actually introduced the conversation and the thought to them. Maybe they had never thought about, are they safe interacting on these online platforms? And as DCI, I said they had issued a report that they had an increase in child abuse cases during this period. So the conversation on online, on protecting our children online is amplified from before, where it was an opt-in that as a parent you could then say, okay, this is not so much a conversation that is relevant to me because my child doesn't have a digital device, they do not have access to the internet. But amidst COVID, now it's become a necessity, because for them to attend class, they have to have that device, they have to have access to the internet for a prolonged period of time, most of it unsupervised, or rather with the only supervisee being the teacher on the other end. So then this conversation today looks at how then can we protect our children in this age of digital learning, which is just the beginning. I feel like COVID has just started things that will not go back. It will be something continuous with us. So to start off the conversation, I think we start off with a person who really has a lot of information, who has a lot of experience interacting with children in this digital space. So Evelyn, my first question goes to you. Now, you are incredibly privileged to be running programs that give you to witness and mold the technical and digital capabilities of our children. You through the Quiz Kids program and the Parents Unplugged, you have been able to interact with children and you know firsthand their capabilities. Now, from this knowledge or from this insight that you have, do you think that parents, what are the skill level when you compare children and the parents in the digital space?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I think even just answering something that you said in the poll, where some parents feel like pre-COVID, their children really didn't have access. I think that is a statement that we are coming to prove wrong, because the ecosystem of the child does enable the child, even outside your home, to be able to have access to at least an internet-enabled gadget. So you can imagine from the school setup, the church, even your compound. We really forget our house managers who have smartphones and they're using data or even your internet at home. Those are people who can give access to gadgets, technology, and the internet to your children. But coming back to your question, I think looking at what we have really even engaged with parents, the skills level is very low. Information is there, but I feel like as a society, we are very reactional. We tend to go for solutions when things happen in our homes. And I'll give an example. For instance, I think when we started the online learning, I think in March and April, March, April, May, thereabout, there were very many Zoom bombing kind of incidences happening, where parents were reacting towards, oh, my child was exposed to mature content. And they were very annoyed at that particular, in that particular setting. But you realize that they're only reacting to that because it is their child who has now been exposed to this content. So we react more than we are proactive. And I think one of the things that now we are trying to do even with our programs is to help parents become more proactive in terms of even engaging these conversations before they come at home. And also just looking at the whole ecosystem of your child. Who has access to your child, and what kind of access do they give your child when they're with your child? And then having deliberate conversations, putting boundaries and having those conversations and filters where if something were to happen, your environment at home is conducive enough for your child to come and tell you, hey, I was exposed to unhealthy content, or somebody was bullying me online, and I would like to know how to handle such kind of situations. So there's information out there. It is not enough, but we also just need to be able to equip parents to also know when something comes to my table, what do I do? Because most of the time people just scream and then they call practitioners like us and they say, you know what, my child was watching porn, you deal with them. And that is not enough, because primarily the parent is the one who has the biggest influence to the child. So by the time you're sending them for professional help, for instance, you need to be able to be equipped properly with the tools that will enable you to sort certain issues that come to you. So we really need to up the conversation of awareness and also the engagement and the knowledge skill. Yeah.
Thank you, Evelyn. Just a quick one to follow up on that. When you say that the parents need to have the skills, does it mean that children have more skills in the digital space than the parents? Are the parents playing catch up?
Absolutely, we are always playing catch up, and this is just for two reasons. First, the children have better knowledge and time to learn different technologies as fast as they come, and they use technology differently than we do. And if you look at just the dynamics, for instance, of social media, the way we use Facebook, for instance, Twitter, is so different from how our children engage with it. So they're able to manipulate, maneuver, and learn new things faster than us, because they're using it in a different and better way than we are doing. For us, it is just to meet a need. For them, they're in the exploration space where they want to know more, they will question, and in that space, they get to learn things that we don't know. And just think about how when your child gets your phone, they get to know some settings that you really didn't even know existed in your phone, for instance, and they're able to enable things, to disable things. They download. And our interest also is very different. So for us parents, we are always catching up to them, and we really can't because of just the dynamics that are thrown to us. Yeah, but they definitely are more tech savvy than us.
Thank you, Evelyn. The points you bring are very, very good points. And so my next question goes to Benjamin. And Benjamin, when you talked a little bit about the competency-based curriculum, and Evelyn is saying that our children are way much more skilled than us, that they are using technology differently than us, that they are in the exploration phase. And you say the competency-based curriculum, CBC, is providing. So to what level are they able to what level and how well is the CBC then, the literacy program, preparing the children to be able to interact and to have a positive digital footprint and to positively use technology for their own welfare and development? Benjamin.
Okay, Thank you so much. It is interesting because learners are always a step ahead of parents, yeah?
Yes.
And so we keep on playing catch up. But the competency-based curriculum, if you look at it, one of the core competencies that we emphasize on is digital literacy. And the competencies under digital literacy, of course, we have for the students ability to interact with technology, which is to use IT devices, handle it, and to use IT application in learning. And the other competency is to be able to use technology to create. So, but the key that now applies here with respect to cyber security is digital citizenship. Okay. If you will allow me, am I able to share just a slide so that we get to appreciate some of what we do?
Okay. We'll give you a few minutes, yes.
Yes.
As you get ready for that, maybe we go back to that conversation on when you talk about digital citizenship. You're saying the CBC, the digital literacy for students is targeted at students being able to interact with technology, to use IT applications and learn and to use technology to create. So that is the usability of it. And yes. Some of the issues that we were seeing the DCI talking about, that the online abuse that was happening, the sexting, the grooming and the rest, is about then I think the soft skills, what is here in the digital citizenship sort of box, the soft skill that yes, you have the ability to interact with technology, that yes, you're able to use IT apps to learn, and yes, you're able to use technology to create, but then do you have then the soft skills to know what are the do's and don'ts in the cyberspace, and that you need to not only protect yourself, but not use technology as a weapon against your friends, your family, and the community. Oh, I can see your presentation is up. Maybe you can address those. Yes, we are able to see your screen.
Okay, you're able to see my screen. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you see, first of all, let's appreciate the competency-based curriculum, because then we'll be able to understand even the direction we are going. Because if we take the same pace as parents, then the learners will always be ahead of us. Because the competency-based curriculum, we look at the competency. What is it, the competency? We are looking at the ability to apply appropriate knowledge, skills, and values to perform our functions. So the goal here is to perform our function. So when you talk about digital literacy, is you are able to perform a function. But it's not just like the previous curriculum. Here, the emphasis is you develop the skill, the knowledge, and real life application. Okay? So if you look at it, at the end of the day, this student must be able to apply real life, whatever they learn on digital literacy in real life. And if you look at here, you'll be able to see that digital literacy is core. Okay, and in the digital literacy, basically, one of the things that we have is the literacy competencies to interact with technology, to be able to create digital citizenship. Now, when it comes to digital citizenship, this is where we teach our learners about the ethics of cyberspace. Yeah, one, we remember in the first is to interact with technology, so they are able to use the gadget, they're able to use them for learning, and then we teach them on how to use them for creation. Okay, so they acquire the skills for creation. And remember, these are real life applications, yeah? It's not like the previous system 844 where we were focusing on learning outcome. So here we emphasize on competency and life application. So part of under digital citizenship is where we now train students on ethics, okay? Then we also train students on the ability to protect your personal data. First of all, they need to understand what is that personal data. When you get to, for example, to our social media, okay, what is it that you're posting? So remember how this is done is the students are given real life situation and are given use cases where they're able to understand the consequences of these, yeah? So when it comes to issues like cyberbullying, we train in the curriculum, it is structured so that the students will be trained, what is cyberbullying? How do you detect cyberbullying? How do you protect yourself from cyberbullying, okay? And then why should you not do it to the other person? These are the skills that at the end of the day, the student is able to appreciate, or our learners are able to appreciate that they're able to handle cyberbullying. If you talk of cyberbullying, if you talk of your information, they are able to learn now what is the information you are putting out there, what are the risks, okay? But on top of that, how do you actually learn to protect or to somehow filter what you are sharing? And this basically goes from grade 4 all the way to grade 12. Currently, we are on grade 4, if you remember the level of implementation of CBC. We are in grade 4. So we are starting soon in grade 5. And this will continue all the way to grade 12. Along the line, okay, also, for those who will be able to, in junior secondary, to want to specialize, there will be now a course on computer studies, which will also cover go into depth of this. But generally, in terms of cyber awareness, it is inbuilt. Remember, when we do all this, the idea here is to create an assertive citizen, yeah? They're able to detect any form of cyber threat, and they're able to assert their position and protect themselves. And therefore, if parents are playing catch up, they'll play catch up for long. But also to help our learners, the teachers also have a digital literacy program. We have a platform of Eliminica, where the teachers are able to access the materials on how to train digital, competency-based curriculum. And part of what the content they'll get there are concerning digital literacy, which they'll be able to help our students. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin, for that. Thank you so much. I think that's very good. When you talked about the skills, that what they need then is the knowledge, the skills, and the values. And I think when it comes to the skills and the values, it's very important that what are these values that they're having. Just a clarification, this digital literacy and about the ethics and the digital citizenship, when do they start learning? Does it start from grade 1 or does it start from grade 4? Just to clarify.
Now, under the competency-based curriculum, it starts on grade 4, okay? But we expect teachers who are exercising learners from grade 1 all through, actually from preschool, PP, all the way to grade 3, the teachers will be able to have these competencies too. So as they handle students, they should be able